Full of busy bees working. I ain't never met a free person. I don't get along with these earthlings. I'm trying to see purpose for something I believe worth it. For the curse, I'ma reverse it. I don't dream cause I sleep nervous. Yet I keep flirting. Face death like a steamboat with cold heat. I'm a drink thermos. So the bartender keep serving. I'm trying to be perfect. Using dirty shit to clean dirt with. Only happy when the weed burning. Put it up in the pre-urban. Till I see curtains, lungs failing and teeth working. There is something that I need urgent. Suffocating, trying to squeeze words in. What would I do with my last breath? Would I yell? Would I cry? Would I laugh? Cause I'm glad that I'm past that mess. Till I died, never felt that blessed. Even bad breath when you living is better than good breath. When you lack flesh, got a class test. Crack in my lost breath, hasn't made it back yet. On my last breath, walking the last step. I'm on the last test. Still no answer in my last guess. Wonder what I gotta pass next. I'm on my last quest. So much harder than my last track. Not blessed. Hope I cannot last that. Crazy people got my address. Down on my last cent. Cash back from my stress. I don't even have yet from my last rent. All this shit is got me my stress. I inherited my dad's debt. Never got to hear his last breath. And the only reason I ain't passed yet. I'm the first ever for the last laugh. Let the record show. I let the second flow. Put it in the weapon show. Kill up the tactical. Knuckles in Mexico. Pull up the tactical. They know the type of blow. That's that I'm practical. Send me the basketball. Body electrical. I see the echo line. Body so flexible.
Got a group of these suited, these scooter bees. Letting the Uzi Aruga speak. An American got up in Cuba eats. The powers they seek and powers the weak. They following creeps. Powers that be inherit the world from cowards and sheep. Bit to the mountains, top towers and peaks. Flowers and sweets that showered our feet. The lightning and thunder that showered the sleep. Showered the deeds. It's not a verse, it's our receipts. What would I do with my last breath? Would I yell? Would I cry? Would I laugh? Cause I'm glad that I'm past that mess. Till I pass, never felt that blessed. Even bad breath when you living is better than good breath. When you lack flesh, got a glass chest that I cracked and my lost breath hasn't made it back yet. I'm on my last breath, walking the last step. I'm on the last test, final answer and my last guess. Wonder what I gotta pass next. I'm on my last quest, so much harder than my last track. Mad bless, hope I can outlast death. Grim Reaper got my address, down on my last cent. Cash spent from a check I don't even have yet from my last rent. Swear that shit has got me mad stressed. I inherited my dad's debt. Never got to hear his last breath. And the only reason I ain't passed yet, I'm the first ever in the last left.
It's like a track finish. I attract women, they the bad women. I'ma splash in them, leave a bag with them. Then I raise seeds to be mad different. If I died now, I'm coming back in them. Cause they dad missing, but they cash dripping. Cause they royalty, so they brag different. Ain't no ass kissing, never had feelings. Seen a white victim and a black witness. Mac gripping on my last mission. Yak sipping, blowing blackism. Gat missing, he was lack slipping. Smack hit him, now we act different. Apparition, the bad vision. The Mac, I chip him and crash the system. Uncle Tom, cause you that willing. Fuck the law, I'm going back to living. Astral prisms of black religions. Activism to conversations. Sacrilegious, the palms of Satan. Black magicians, Babylon erasing. Raise our hands to the gods we praising. Hustle in the marathon we racing. Nipsey at the finish line, he waiting.
What would I do with my last breath? Would I yell? Would I cry? Would I laugh? Cause I'm glad that I'm past that mess. Till I pass, never felt that blessed. Even bad breath when you living is better than good breath. When you lack flesh, got a glass chest that I cracked and my lost breath hasn't made it back yet. I'm on my last breath, walking the last step. I'm on the last test, final answer and my last guess. Wonder what I gotta pass next. I'm on my last quest, so much harder than my last track. Mad bless, hope I can outlast death. Grim Reaper got my address, down on my last cent. Cash spent from a check I don't even have yet from my last rent. Swear that shit has got me mad stressed. I inherited my dad's debt. Never got to hear his last breath. And the only reason I ain't passed yet, I'm the first ever and the last left.
Whoop, 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 whoop. There you have it, y'all. Last breath off of that Holy Ghost album. All right, y'all make sure y'all go and get that album from Black Magic, aka Brother Rich. Yeah, Blue killed that. Blue snapped on that. Talk black to me. I have good news. Tonight, y'all probably didn't even know this. At 11 o'clock on Zoom, right? On Zoom, Kambada is releasing his best album to date called LSD. Lunar Solar Duality. And I got a song on there entitled 24 Hours. And yeah, it's fire, right? And yeah, I'm gonna be talking about the song. Yes, double new moon tonight as well. That's right. The brother, he picked the perfect day, the 20th of 2020. And it's a double new moon, y'all. I don't know if you realized what today is. Uh Today's been a challenging day for me. Just a lot of stuff going on. Y'all know how it is. You know, it's a lot of things. Like, I've been in Connecticut and it's been challenging for my business because they don't move at the same pace that we move in New York. And, you know, just getting these orders out and dealing with manufacturing has been such a heavy weight. You know what I mean? Like, some days I'll be thinking dudes is trying to sabotage me. Some days I'll be thinking dudes is flaking. And then other days it's just like, you know what? You just got to go with the punches. You know what I'm talking about? But nonetheless, it's been a challenge. So I've been a little frustrated. You know, I'm not going to take the frustration out on the family. I'm just going to hold that. I'm going to hold it and I'm going to persevere and I'm going to do what I need to do. And I'm going to take it for um, a learning lesson. You know, I cannot be dependent on others. In a day and a time when you want to be dependent on your people, you want to be dependent on the brothers. You know what I mean? You want to help people out. You want to help put people on, but that's not what we seeing. Shout out to A.A. Rashid, right? With the Alistair Whoopi. And he also got some other pieces, right? Check this out. YSL, Yoruba, Lukimi, and Santana. All right. For all of my magicians out there, talk black to me. Then we also got this, the Moors. This is the God, Kabbalah God, doing his thing. He doing his thug gizzle. We got it in Salmon. I'm talking about. These are personals. You gotta hit the God up. I'm not out here, you know. We got the Larry Davis Gun Club. For all of my shooters, where my shooters at? Give me a fire emoji. You know what I'm talking about? You know, all of my shooters. The shooters are metrosexual these days. Did you know that? We live in a weird day and time. Even the shooters is soft. What the hell is going on? So, you know, I promote. There they go. Look at the shooters. I promote those who promote me. You know, me and AA go back to the 90s, 91. You know, I remember visiting him on a visiting floor and talking to him about my wish to be a teacher. You know what I'm talking about? So we like a throwback, you know? We like a throwback. So the brother is doing his thing. So I'm going to support him and promote him because that's how it's supposed to be. You dig what I'm saying? You know, we can't do this alone. You know what I'm talking about? Can't do it alone. You know, you need people in high places. So Yeah, that's what that's about. Somebody said, how old am I? I'm 44 years young. 44 years young. On Draco with the Draco. Yeah, there's so much going on in the news, man. So much going on in the news. Where will we start? You know, we're gonna get into some topics tonight, of course. You know how Melanin Monday does. But I'm doing a order info. AA Rashid Art. I'm gonna give you the Instagram right now. Tell him that I sent you. I want y'all to crash his DMs. Well, don't do that. Well, tell him that I sent you. Um, that's his Instagram right there, and he'll be very happy to welcome you in. This is $65 though. This is direct to print. Yeah, I heard about the Phil Valentine webinar. Salute to the Baba Phil. You know what I'm talking about? Salute to Baba Phil. I'm gonna check that out. I didn't have time to check that out uh yesterday, but I will check that out later on. I heard it was 10 hours. That's the Phil that I'm talking about. That's the Dr. Phil that taught me. 13 hours strong. Urgh. That's what I'm talking about. You know, that's the Dr. Phil that gave me a migraine. That's the Dr. Phil that unplugged me from the matrix and completely, you know, broke whatever the Negro chip they had planted in my. Because people be talking about chips. I had a nigger chip in my brain. I don't know about everybody else. I can't speak for anyone but myself. I will admit that I had a chip. People talking about, oh, I don't want to get the mark of the beast. I feel that we already have the mark of the beast in certain degrees. Like, we don't need to be looking for the mark of the beast when we live around beast and we act beastly, and individuals be taking up bestiality. So what part of the mark of the beast? I mean, how low would the mark make us go that we haven't already gone? We're living in Sodom and Gomorrah. So the mark of the beast, I think it's already upon us. If this my humble opinion, people are fearing the mark of the beast as if there's some mysterious mark that's going to make you more ratchet than you already are, or more savage than you already are. There's proud savages amongst us. Proud savages. They wear it like a badge. So that's not the mark of the beast. I'm confused. I really am. You know, I really am. Tell that to General Yohana. Well, I'm not a Hebrew Israelite, so I'm not really, shout out to the Hebrew Israelites, right? Yeah, AA is definitely dropping them jewels on the Griselda albums. You know, he is he's a Griselda legend. You dig? So, you know, I think that yeah, that vaccine for the COVID, that might push us further into the mark, right? That might push us further into beasthood. But to be honest with you, my geniuses, I think we already there. You know, I saw the thread too where they were men talking about shooting women to stop their hot girl summer. Now, let me explain to you what kind of men those are. Shalom, my brothers. Islam, Hotep, peace, namaste. You know, I greet everyone in the name of peace. You dig what I'm saying? Because even though we're at war, we're still at peace. You know, I'm not at war with you. You know what I'm talking about? I ain't at war with my people. I'm not at war with any of the organizations. We didn't even do roll call. How rude of me. I'm going to commence to doing that in 2.3 minutes, right? Just give me a minute. You know, but if we pay attention to what's going on around us, you know, we're surrounded by lower frequencies, ELFs, people who are resonating on a deaf frequency. We belong to a deaf culture, some of us, you know, and proudly. But let's get to the roll call. And wouldn't you know it, Rough Buff is in the building. They the first ones to set it off. Cleveland, Ohio is in the building. Shout out to Cleveland. I was in Cleveland in 2009 and it was nice out there. I went to Serpent Mounds and I went to the Newark Earthworks. You should look that up. Vegas is in the building. You know I always speak about Vegas. Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about the men who like to shoot women after we do the roll call. Thank you for reminding me, because they need to get washed up. Cherokee, Georgia, Mactown. What's happening, my good brother? All right. I mean, Cherokee, Georgia. That sounds like somewhere that I should visit because I'm sure that there's a lot of history in Cherokee, Georgia. Shout out to Cherokee, Georgia. Shout out to Philly, man. Philly has always been love. Black and Nobel. You know, the Moors that are out there. My brother Seton Ra. You know, I love Philly. Philly is like a second home. My name is Philip. So I've always been, you know, I've always had an affinity. But Philly has always showed big love. I love Philly. I really mean that. Seattle, Maryland, Las Vegas. There was a day and time when there was a prototype of a Philadelphia woman, like Jilly from Philly. Remember that when they used to do all of the spoken word back in the days? Yeah, Philadelphia. Albany, New York. Shout out to Albany. I was in Albany before too. All bloody. The NO is in the building. I'm getting some backlash because I made a statement about New Orleans artists who promote sleeping with other women, other men's women. And I got inboxes from people from the NO like, I ain't like that, fam. And I'm here to say that I'm not talking about brothers from the NO. I'm just saying that the rappers from the New Orleans area, you know, like August Agalina, they're promoting things that could get your wig pushed back. That's all I'm saying. Lil Wayne, you know, Bootsy, Kevin Gates, you know, they tell you to go sleep with another man's woman. And I'm not saying that y'all do that. You know what I'm talking about? I'm just saying that those artists are known for those lyrics. Richmond, Virginia. Shout out to Richmond. Columbus, Georgia. Yeah, I don't think I want to visit there. Harlem. Currently in Charlestown. Were you there for Kanye? Because he was in your state yesterday. Were you there for that man? You know what I'm talking about? Were you there? Why did he go to Charlestown? Let's talk about it. You know, Philly to LA. How you like in LA? Talk to me. How's LA treating you? I loved LA when I was out there. Oakland, smoking. That's right. Light it up. All right. Jacksonville, Florida. Oh, the God said come through to Cherokee. I just might do that. Manchester, Jamaica. North Cackalack. I see you. T Dot. I see you. Denver, Dallas. I see you. You know what I'm talking about? South Carolina. I'm here with you. Clinton Hill. I used to live in Clinton Hill. I used to live with A.A. Rashid and his mama. Rising power to Hafisa. I went to Bishop Lachlan for 6 months. And I went to Satellite West, if you know about those schools, right? Merritt Island, Florida. Love and Light. Texaco. They're not all from New Orleans. They're from New Louisiana. And all rappers promote that. Let's be real. I feel you all popping. I'm gonna get at the rappers that from Atlanta to promote that, and the ones from New York because the young drillers in New York they promote that. Like you know the drillers promote that. You know what I'm talking about? I'm not saying that it's a New Orleans thing. What I'm saying is that where's YB from? NBA YoungBoy, where's he from? All I'm saying is that music is out there. That music is everywhere because it's on the radio. And I'm just saying, regardless of who's saying it, that's giving young men, not us grown people, because we know better. We know not to creep in no married man's house because you could get your wig, you could get your head blown off. We know not to covet what's not ours as grown men. But for the young children, the young ones, they don't know about. They don't know. They hearing from the OGs. They don't know right from wrong. They getting led the wrong way. Jamaica Queens. All right. Oh, they from Baton Rouge, no doubt. Salute to Baton Rouge. Baton Rouge is a Baton Rouge. They are. Kevin Gates talk about doing his cousin. Are they? Cincinnati, Chicago. I didn't hear about that. I didn't hear about that. So let me be clear. I'm not putting that on Louisiana. I love Louisiana. Y'all about that life. You know, them Creole women. Y'all about that life. I already said it on my show yesterday. My daughter's Creole. So you know what I mean? Like I got more than love for Louisiana. I got children from the place in it. You know, they from Baton Rouge. One day we're gonna bring somebody on to break down the differences between New Orleans and Baton Rouge because I'm from New York City, so people be thinking that people from the Bronx are the same as people from Brooklyn. I'm from Brooklyn, and they think that people from Flatbush is the same from people from Bed-Stuy. I'm from Flatbush, and they think that people from Flatbush is the same as people from East Flatbush, right? Like the 90s and whatnot, near Canarsie, where the Pop Smoke in them is from. I'm from over by Tennis Court. I'm over by Church Ave. I'm over by Caton. I'm over by Cortiliu, Beverly. We're not the same as the 90s. We're not the same as the 50s. We're not the same as East Flatbush or Vanderveer. We're the same in some ways, but in some ways we have differences. So everything is different in different places. So I apologize if I painted the whole NO with that brush. You know what I'm talking about? But I want to know the differences from people who live down there. I love to have those conversations because it's almost like a travel guide channel. You know, when because we did the roll call, it's people from everywhere, and people from everywhere one day gonna travel places. So why not get the game while you're on one of these shows and find out where not to go, or when you go to those places, what not to do? You know what I'm talking about? Because things that you could get away with in your you know in your parameters, right, in your jurisdiction, you might not be able to get away with that when you go into somebody else's jurisdiction. So I get it. East 21st Cotillion was lit in my child. Yeah, it was lit in mine's too. It was lit in mine's too. Tennis court. Um, what was that block? Regents. Nobody went down Regent. The God said that he should have went to see Kanye because he feel like the people there was only there to see a disaster. We could have used Kanye as a ritual to benefit us and praise the ancestors. Jabral, you're a very intelligent young man. I feel you 100%. I feel you 100%. Real talk. You went to the mound. That's beautiful. That's what's up. That's what's up. You know what I'm talking about? And did you feel the energy coming off of that mound? Yeah, Region and 21st. That was a sundown block. And you don't go on that block when the sun is up. It's a sundown block when the sun is up and when it's down. I don't think did it change? Did it got better? Because I ain't been around there. But they've been putting in work on, and Region is a tiny block. And they had the whole area shook forever. You know what I'm talking about? Shout out to Regents. Is Kanye one of their programs? I broke that down. There's a video that I uploaded yesterday. It's right on this YouTube channel. When you finish watching this show, you could go and tap in. Yes, Kanye has been compromised, right? Kanye has been compromised, right? So we could love him from a distance. You from Snyder and 31st. So you know what I mean, right? You didn't go past the Sears. You wasn't coming on our end. There wasn't nothing for you to nobody the people from the 30s, they wasn't crossing Flatbush and coming up on Beverly unless they had a shorty. And then even they was lining people up. Don't come to East 19 talking about you coming to cut something. Man, oh man, you gonna cut something all right. That was a line. You was getting lined up. You was getting lined up. So yes, they renditioned Kanye. They renditioned Kanye, and they basically gave him a chemical castration, a lobotomy, right? I think they went inside of his brain because that's what they'll do to you. They'll cut you open, and once you get compromised, it's hard to come back. It's hard to come back. I would say that the mother situation pushed him, but he went over the edge after he got renditioned when they took him off of the St. Pablo tour, and he was at his trainer's house the next day, and then his trainer called the ambulance or the medics on him, and he's been dead ever since. And I don't mean dead in the sense where they killed them. I mean that the personality or the ego that we know as Kanye, right? The ego. Remember, you can have an ego death. The personality could die. That man that we knew, he's gone. You know, yeah, they cuckoo. Yeah, he one flew over the cuckoo nest after that concert where he called out Jay-Z and Beyonce. Remember that? The St. Pablo's tour? And he stopped the show and he had like a 30-minute rant. Oh, they had to bring him back in. So when their subjects begin to short circuit, right? They will take care of you in ways where you will never be the same again. And then you have handlers around you. I did a controversial video with Brother Rich many years ago. It was 2017. I was in a subway station. I had on the camel coat. Remember that? Yeah, it was kind of drippy. And I talked about the Kim Kardashian curse. And then I went further than that. And I was like, they got graveyard pussy. Excuse me for my, profanity, but I don't know how else to say it. Because it's not a yoni. And I said that because every single person that these women, right? And I took it further. I took it further to even give you an example about Armenian women being gypsies, right? Armenian women being known throughout history as the gypsies. And the gypsy women, right? They would cast spells on men through sex. They had that graveyard, right? So going back to what I was saying, everybody that I gave a shout out to and on the roll call, we all come from different parts of America. And some of us are across the pond overseas. And then you got Mondem in Jamaica, right? So to show you that it's not a regional thing, right? Everybody probably knows a woman, right? From around their way, from back in high school days, who every single one of her boyfriends is on her arm as a RIP tattoo. How did that happen? And more than likely, 8 times out of 10 right now, she's in a relationship with another woman. right? Because she just got tired of putting niggas to rest. You know what I'm talking about? And then she gets rescued by, I don't know. That's what's going on around my way. The retired thoughts, they in same sex relationships, a lot of them. You know what I mean? Shorty came through with the cake, took off she retired her, was like, get that graveyard, bring that, get that up out of here. Yeah, the Black Widow. So there's been women from my hood, right? And we didn't understand what was going on. That men were dying who were in relationships with them. We was like, damn, what's going on? What's that about? You know what I'm talking about? And oh yeah, either that or a white boy. That's right. What's the dude? The Gary Owen? What's the comedian that got the black wife? They had a whole bunch of Gary Owens pull up and rescue them off of Tinder. And now they in somebody's dungeon, or they running around looking all crazy. Your moms used to point out the succubus. Give your mama a hug because she helped save you. They either dead or in jail. Am I making this up? Because I don't want none of the sisters that are on the line feel offended. You know what I'm talking about? Like I'm taking shots because we could point out. Let's not talk about the men who have bad luck. But I do know that graveyard punani is is real, and I'm saying that the Kardashians got that. They got that. When you sleep with a woman, you're supposed to come up. Nah, nobody's coming up. You know what I'm talking about? Nobody's coming up. Look at Tiger. Look at David Justice. No, that was with Holly Berry. Look at my dude that play basketball. I never seen him put another point up after she divorced him. He's not even on NBA 2K, fam. You know what I'm talking about? What about Reggie Bush? What happened to him? He was a Heisman Trophy winner. What happened to that guy? Yeah, they depleted him. They depleted him. You know what I'm talking about? So a man like Kanye with the wits, yeah. Travis is next. You see, Travis had to get up out of there. Now, there's a difference between the Jenners and the Kardashians. I'm not giving Kylie a pass. You dig what I'm saying? But I feel that pure Armenian blood coming from Richard Kardashian. Who was their father's name? I think that's where the curse is. You know what I'm talking about? I don't think what's his name? What's homie's name? The Caitlyn. What's his name? I know Bruce Jenner. I'm just gonna keep it a buck. I don't know nobody else but Bruce Jenner who was on the Wheaties box. Yeah, his children is not the same as the other dude's children. Yeah, Robert. I think that was whatever Robert was producing had some dark energy around it. You dig? And men lie, women lie, but these numbers are not lying. Like the ratio aspect. Let's deal with the ratio. Who came up in that situation? Who? What black man? Look at what they did to homeboy that likes to drink a lot. The white boy, Scotty is his name. He's a lush. He's washed up. You know what I'm talking about? He looking real old in the face. Robert Kardashian. Yeah, that's the daddy. Who, suddenly died after the OJ case. That's a whole nother story. So Kanye West, with the intelligence that his mother, bless his mother Donda, rise in power, with the intelligence that she bestowed upon him, did not necessarily make a decision based off of facts. I think that he made a decision based off of his feelings, right? He was trying to bounce back from what Amber Rose put him through. So she was rebound. You dig? And it's been a downward spiral ever since. Before that, he was aligned with Big Brother. He was cool with Beyonce. He was out there capping for her. No more of that. You know what I'm talking about? Those days are over. No more Watch the Throne, my friend. You know? He could have had that black fiance. She was beautiful. Her name is Aisha, I think, from Chicago, right? They would have made some beautiful babies. No offense to his babies, and please, I'm not saying anything about his children because he could have continued to have more children. Nobody is restricted, you know what I mean, from procreating, especially if they got the funds to take care of them. Alexis, she was gorgeous, or she is gorgeous for that matter, right? Gorgeous sister. Look at Rob. Oh my, is Rob a Kardashian or a Jenner? You see the son that's a Jenner, he's not even on, he's not a pity party. Look at Rob Kardashian, y'all. Look at Rob Kardashian. Talk black to me. He has Stacey Dash. Well, I'm glad. Oh my goodness. Yeah, remember the video with Kanye where he had Trump in the bed? Nobody brings that up. Nobody brings that up. I think Alexis damn sure dodged a bullet, you know? Tiger got out, sort of, right? Tiger is with the Jenner, right? I think Tiger is with the Jenner sister. Like I said, I feel that there's a difference between them and the real the Kardashians, that trio right there, that Courtney, all of them K's and whatnot, the Courtney crew, Courtney, Kim, and what's the other one's name? Yeah, that's the ones that I'm talking about. Yeah, the video was called Famous. He was in the bed, butt naked. It was an orgy. It was an orgy. Yeah, the KKK, right. Yeah, I'm talking about KKK. They out here hanging brothers by the scrotums. You know what I'm talking about? They out here collecting phalluses. They got souls in a mason jar. And that mama, Chris, I bet you she got every single room bugged. She likes to watch everybody get it in. She's that kind of person. I feel that kind of MILF energy coming off of her. You know what I'm talking about? I know that she likes to watch because she probably watched Kim K's tape about 100 million times. Facts. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. We was talking about swinging on the last video. I don't really want to get into all of that. Yeah, Black China tried to become a, yeah, that we see how that worked out. We see how that worked out. You know? The mom is a momager. The mom is about to have a field day with them babies. You dig? Yo, how did you hear that already, Thailand? How did you hear that already? He knows that Thailand, he be having a scoop on everything, bro. How did you hear that? How did you hear my song with Cam already? I want to know. You know what I'm talking about? And then look, she got her a black man who looked like Kanye, right? The mama. She got her a young man who she could feed off of. Wait till we see that man in a few years. He gonna look like a raisin. He gonna be shriveled up. You know what I'm talking? Yeah, they all soul snatching. They all soul snatching. When you go to LA, go and have lunch on one of them boulevards. Just mind your business. Just look around. You're gonna see a whole bunch of evil witches. You're gonna see a whole bunch of spirit cookers. You're gonna see a whole bunch of soul snatchers. When I went to LA, that's what I saw. You know what I mean? I saw it. I seen it with my own two eyes. Right? I was on Melrose. I was on what was that? Wilshire. I seen all of that. I was like, damn, shit is real in the field. Yeah, I think he got an album coming out. I like that song, Wash Me in the Blood. I like that song, Wash Me in the Blood. Oh, it started already? Ah. Shout out to Cam. Shout out to Cam. You know? The two boys. Look, the boy did not Courtney. What's the other one's name? The one Scott's son. What is it? Penelope? Right? Is that a boy or a girl? One of them already looked like they a Fosse. You could feel the evil on Hollywood Boulevard. No, I felt it I felt it when I looked and I saw houses attached to the side of a mountain. When I was on Hollywood Boulevard, I felt the poverty. I was like, this is Hollywood? What the hell? Like at least 42nd Street gives you a little bit of of what you pay for. Oh, Penelope is the girl. Okay, my bad. There's one of their children is like non-genderless. When I seen it on the TV, I'm like, what is that? Is that a boy or a girl? I saw in LA they got houses in the hills. That's where I felt the demonic energy. I'm like, people go up those swirling roads and never come down the same. You know, Hollywood Boulevard, it didn't. I thought that I was gonna see opulence. I thought that I was gonna see lights. I thought it was gonna be like how the Deuce is lit up. At least when you go to 40 Deuce, you see the lights. Like you see what you seen on TV. When you go to Hollywood, I did not see what I was looking for. I'm like, what the hell? Where's Hollywood? Where's all of this stuff that I hear about? And then I saw Skid Row. I was like, how is this possible? I was in Leimert Park. Are you serious? I was mobbing in Leimert Park. I was all up and down Leimert Park. You know? Oh, there's one called Mason. I think that, yeah. Rain is the youngest. All right, that's the one that I'm talking about. They're gonna flip these kids, man. That Skid Row energy is crazy. I seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Was that with Brad Pitt? My brother dragged me into there and showed me that movie. I was like, why did I watch this? You know, rest in peace to Pop Smoke. They did my brother Pop Smoke dirty in LA. They did Nipsey dirty in LA. They did Biggie dirty in LA. You know what I'm talking about? They do a lot of people dirty out there, man. You know? They did them dirty, man. They did them dirty. That wasn't right. Yeah, the Brad Pitt, DiCaprio. You know that they were trying to change the energy. They were trying to change the story. Yeah, I mean, I'm not out in Lamera Park now, sis. But when we came out there for the Nipsey Hustle um, burial, I was staying on Vernon. Yeah, I was gangster. I was on Vernon. I was in walking distance of Lamert Park. And there's a brother out there named Chase Infinite. He has a store. I went to go support him, but he wasn't there. AA took us there. That's his boy. He wasn't there. I went to the other stores, the bookstore and all of that. I mean, like the They had like a health food, like a little eatery. I was up in there, you know, in 2002. In 2002, I was living in, I didn't say Tupac's name. I know Tupac got killed in Nevada. I said Biggie. I said Biggie, Pop Smoke, Nip, neighborhood, Nip. The three, I was talking about the Kings. Oh, it's a lot of Chi energy there in Lamarck Park. I ain't know that. I didn't see them over there. I wasn't looking for them. I ain't see no Chi man in Lamarck Park. Shout out to Sir. Yo, this is my guy right here. He's been doing some excellent work with the descriptions, breaking them down. That's a true KT alien right there. The brother Thailand, a true KT alien. Empress B444. Yeah, I got a lot of love for y'all because anybody that's assisting me in this task right here, you know, I got to show y'all respect because, you know, I be needing some assistance. As soon as the Bahamas open up, I'm in the USA, and we can't leave. Can't really go too many places in the USA right now. They got it on lock. So, yes, I saw the movie Old Guard. I broke it down. I was breaking it down yesterday. Yeah, that sister name is Nile Freeman. I mean, come on, they couldn't get more obvious in that movie. You said, what's a Chi-Chi? What you think of Chi-Chi? A Chi-Chi man. You know, a Chi-Chi man. That's what we call it in Flatbush. Chi-Chi man, a booger man. You know, a Fassi hole. Yeah, whoever didn't see the Old Guard, check it out after we decode it. Because, you know, Charlize Theron is in it and she's a op. I don't really, you know, she emasculates young black boys and whatnot. Rumor has it she might be on them hormone pills too. You know what I'm talking about? Rumor has it she might have been a dude previously. You know? I don't know. I don't know why she adapting black babies out of Africa and then flipping them. She got the little boy in a dress. Her son wears a dress. Her son is now sex changed, right? She went and imported a child and flipped them. So I'm not feeling her. And she's South African. She got an answer for what they did to our people over there. So I'm not really feeling her, right? So I heard a lot of people talk about the movie. Then somebody sent me the screenshot of the sister. And I was like, yeah, I gotta watch that. You know what I'm talking about? And it was a straight Moorish movie from the beginning. It started out in Morocco. Her name is Adrenochrome. And the short for that, they calling her Andy, right? And then when they show you where they come from, and it's two Fossis in there. They had two men kissing, right? Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. They had two men necking, right? But all throughout the movie, they talk about the Crusades, you know, every single place where they popped up. I think she was a Union or Confederate soldier. At the end, they showed her in the Civil War. Like, they were covering mad grounds about all of these wars that they've been in. But they didn't tell you what side they were on. You know what I mean? So it's an interesting movie, you know. It's an interesting movie and whatnot. I recommend the family to check it out. I'm gonna try to get KT the Arch Degree to decode it. Right? Yeah. They spelled her name Adrenochrome, but pronounced her name Andromeda. Andy for short. I'm like, oh, you think we retarded? Like, I know we speak Ebonics, but we could read. You know what I'm saying? We can read. We know what you're saying. We watch. We're on YouTube. We know about all of that. So I'm like, really? Oh, her folks got ousted out of South Africa. If you got ousted out of South Africa, then you really was a problem. So how is it a Boer? These are the South African Europeans. How is it a Boer, right? You saw she's I mean, come on. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. You don't think she got brothers taking it down? You know? So how is it that you leave? This is the place of apartheid. This is where they were doing experiments on black people. This is where they were doing all kind of atrocities on melanated people, right? In South Africa, when they had your boy locked up, do you know one of the first lobotomies was Nelson Mandela's? You know he came out and he wasn't the same. You know when you know when what's my dude? What's my dude? Huey P. Newton. You know when Huey P. Newton came out, he wasn't the same, right? Do you know this? Do you know they went inside of his brain and they flipped him after they got him? That's why I'm saying to people, it's the same thing that they showed you in the movie, The Old Guard, right? Don't get caught. Don't, I mean, once you get caught, nobody's coming to save you. The thing that they be doing in movies where people pop up while they got you tied up and they experimenting on you, that's not real life. Nobody's coming through the door with the AR with a head with a 19 keys headband on, shooting the guards and saving you. My thing is, don't get caught. You don't want to get renditioned. You don't want to be in no one's custody at all costs. So you should avoid being being kidnapped. Don't ever put yourself in the belly of the beast willingly, because you might not come out the same, because they will drug you. They will utilize these psychotropics to try to hook you, right? And break your spirit. It's a very sad state of affairs. I don't even want to go further on it because I've seen some people get compromised like that. You know? Yeah, I saw the movie Monster with her. She's probably a monster. She played that thing like that was her for real. People talk about, oh, she's a good method actor. I'm like, nigga, she's tapping into her real self. How about that? How about if you get ran out of South Africa, you really got to be a demon, because there's demons running around that thing doing demonic things. So you leave South Africa and then you adopt black boys for your children. You don't want to adopt a white child. You don't want to adopt a European. There's a lot of Europeans that need a mama. You didn't adopt that. You wanted to go with the melanin. Why is that, Charlize? And where's your man at? Yeah, legally she's an African American. What's effing with that? Right? So yeah, there's a doctor from South Africa who had admitted, either on his deathbed or wherever, that they were using the South Africans as guinea pigs with the AIDS virus. Oh, her mom's killed her dad in front of her. And then people are saying that she probably did it. What kind of trauma is that? They parading this woman around like she Wonder Woman or something. And I'm saying, no, fam, don't fall for the okie doke. She's a reptilian. She's a reptilian. Gilly and Wallow, rightfully so. Rightfully so. If Joe Button is hating on them, rightfully so. Wash him up. All of the old guard got to go. Charlemagne got to go. I'm going to show you a clip about Charlemagne that's going to Open up your eyes to what I've been saying. Y'all thought I was hating on him. I don't know who thought I was hating on him, but if anybody thought I was hating on him when I was going in on him, then I'm going to show you what I meant and why I was going in on. I saw something that you probably didn't see months ago. I withdrew my support for the Breakfast Club a long time ago. Let's go to the clip. I can't wait. I was going to wait, but let's just go to the clip. Let's see what we talking about, because somebody got an answer for this, y'all. You know what I'm talking about? Somebody got an answer for the disrespect that they showing our master teachers. It's uncalled for. It's uncalled for. Let me get out my DMs. It is uncalled for. Pure disrespect. Unadulterated. Here we go. This is the show called, what is the name of his podcast? Something Idiots. And these niggas is really idiots. Right? On his show, right? On Charlemagne's show, yeah, Charlemagne the fraud. Don't call him the God. Don't say that. Don't give him the benefit of the doubt. He has not proven that he is a God, right? He has not proven that he is a God. And there's no coming back after the disrespect that he levied against the great Dr. Frances Cress Welsing. Now let's talk about how journalism works. By him not defending her, right? Because before they begin to tape, like if I was doing a podcast with somebody, we speak about what we're about to talk about before we get the cameras rolling. So sometimes you have good cop and bad cop, and the conversation is assigned to individuals who are elected to be the bad cop. That would be Andrew Schultz in this situation. So he's like, you know what, Andrew, I need you to go in on Dr. Frances Cress. And I'm not going to say nothing because he has more, Charlemagne is more in bed with Nick Cannon. He's more about saving Nick Cannon's career. He's more about saving Nick Cannon's reputation. And he utilized Dr. Frances Cress Welsing as the sacrifice. The same way that Nick Cannon used Richard Griffin, right, as the sacrifice. My good brother, Professor Griff. So let's go to the clip in case you haven't seen it. I had to cut it up and put it up to them. I'm like, hold on, the people need to see this. This nigga's loose.
They weren't built because they were, as he says, less than. I believe people are born evil.
No,
It's not
I don't
possible.
believe that.
Like,
I don't believe that. I don't believe somebody's lack of melanin makes them
less
any more evil, any more savage. Now, if you want to have a conversation about, you know, the massive racial violence that white people have done in America, that's definitely a conversation.
So here's where Nick fucked up, and it's really because Nick is regurgitating talking points and not synthesizing his own ideas. Right?
Talk to me. I agree with you.
And so
I agree with you.
So he's regurgitating talking points. I forget the name of the woman who wrote the book, Frances Clearly West or something like that. I think the ISIS Papers, I think, is the name of the book. But like, she makes a lot of crazy statements in it.
Look at this nigga playing with his nose.
Science. One being that like white people invented homosexuality in the black community to keep the numbers down, and like a lot of just other like nonsense shit. Right?
A bunch of stuff you can't prove.
And one.
So not only did he sit there with cricket, he says that she wrote a bunch of stuff that you can't prove, right? This is coming from the same person, correct? Correct me if I'm wrong. He's had a multitude of conscious thought leaders on his platform, from Dr. Umar Johnson to Dr. Wesley Muhammad and Tariq Nasheed. I believe that that's one of his close friends, right? So if he didn't even attempt to defend the master teacher whose doctrine these same people who came up on his program, and remember, I've always said he benefited the most out of that relationship. The conscious thought leaders did not benefit the most from coming on the Breakfast Club. They did not. He benefited off of it because you don't see him align himself with none of them anymore. He does not. He could have went to any one of them and said, I want to speak to you about what was said on the broadcast. He could have even went to Professor Griff, y'all. Right? This is a I'm surprised, you're surprised moment. I mean, you know, at the end of the day, fam, I'm not surprised. You know what I'm saying? I'm really not. And I think that a lot of the audience is not. We're highlighting the recent infraction because there's a multitude of infractions. This one, it might be the most severe though.
Things Nick said is that because white people are deficient of melanin, it forced them to leave Africa and live in these harsh environments, and the harsh environments and the fact
that's Iceman inheritance. See, here goes the jumbling of information. He did not say the white author from Iceman Inheritance. That's the research, not only Dr. Francis Cress Wilson with the Crest theory, but the Iceman Inheritance speaks about this in detail.
The fact that they weren't built because they were, as he says, less than. It created them or made them be
What is he drinking? What the hell is he drinking?
Savages. Made white people become savages, and then they did all this savage shit, right? So it's pseudoscience used to justify something, and here's why it's fucked up.
Pseudoscience.
And I got to credit my boy Robbie for saying this. He put something really interesting on here.
Who the fuck is Robbie?
If he was to just say, if Nick Cannon was just to say, hey, listen, for years white people have called black people savages, but that's weird because
white people have a history of mass racial violence in this country.
Or not even this country, or colonization in the world.
Colonization in the world. So whether you want to call it savagery, murder, whatever you want to call it, it's accurate.
So this is how the woke jokesters like to play. This is what you see in the woke marketplace. If you're going to address white people, right, you have to address them politically correct in a moist manner, right? You cannot give it to them raw. You have to step on it. That's how the woke people give it up. They'll insult you with a compliment.
To say that that they have a history of that.
Exactly. So if he said, "Who you calling savage?" Right? Like if he said, "Why would you call us savages?" when the most savage action is colonizing and oppressing these people, I don't think he'd get any pushback from anyone.
You know why? Think about it. Me and you are agreeing right now, right? We can agree that white people have had a history of mass racial violence on this planet,
right?
But if I say, and it's because y'all lack melanin.
Exactly. If you try
now we arguing about some stupid shit.
If you try to add science that is not supported by anything, then you get into this eugenics discussion where certain people are actually built better than or made better than based on the DNA that they have.
That
is the definition of racism. That's the definition of like Hitler ideology. Like that's where shit gets bad.
And the reason black people were labeled 3/5 of a human being in the Constitution,
right,
because of this skin.
And because
that's not accurate.
the southern people need some votes. That's why.
Exactly. But I'm just simply saying you can't look at me just because of the color of my skin and say, hey, I'm less than a person. Just like I can't look at you and just assume, okay, they're a savage. All right.
Right.
So that's where that conversation got messed up at. But I think
but that's what happens when you're not thinking for yourself, and that's what happens when you're just spewing the shit that you read. And that's really on Nick. He got to be accountable for that. If you're gonna read some wild shit like that, you have to be aware of what you're reading and aware of what you're regurgitating. And this is the problem when you exist in your echo chamber.
Echo chamber?
Like, if you're not talking to anybody that doesn't push back, I mean, people might be annoyed when we argue on this show, but it's good. It's healthy. I'll learn some shit. You'll learn some shit. We'll have our ideas bounce off each other and they just get sharper.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Yep. What do they say? Like iron sharpens iron or something like that?
Yep. But he's out here sharpens steel.
Steel sharpens. He's out there with a dull blade because he got nobody pushing back. And then finally, the time you get pushed back, it's when you say it to the fucking world, you lose your show.
And that's why I said, if you're going to engage in those conversations, and not even just with Jewish people, if you're going to engage in conversations about the LGBT community, the Black community, the Asian community.
But they are dodging anyone's invitation to a debate. Let's put that on a record. They are pussyfooting, dodging, and tiptoeing around anyone's invitation to debate what they called pseudoscience, right? So, of course, I had to summon the ancestor to do her work, right? I had to.
How about talk to somebody from that community? Like, if you're going to have that conversation about Jewish people, talk to a Jewish scholar. Talk to somebody from that community who can correct you when you say something.
Named Dr. William Shockley, a noted scientist embarked upon the mission of proving to the world that Black people are genetically inferior.
Yes. In the words, I'm gonna let her speak. I'm gonna let the great master teacher clean these people up. But after she does that work, I'm gonna charge individuals who are still living and breathing to edify her work and to make sure that these two buffoons never ever get away with what they just did to desecrate, try to shit on her legacy. We're not having that in 2020.
The benefit of any formal background in genetics. He became front page news and won headlines with his controversial view.
I'm just giving you a clip to show you the op that she washed up because he was out there talking crazy.
On campus after campus, unrest followed his every visit. My position then and now is that if a supremacist cannot be rationally debated, perhaps he has a point. After the debate you're now going to see, Dr. Shockley went back into oblivion.
That's right.
I don't claim that the 1973 interview did it alone, but I am of the opinion that it helped. I'm Tony Brown. In a moment, racial superiority with Dr. William Shockley. We have two very prominent educators, scholars on Black Journal tonight, and we feel that it is important to defend the First Amendment rights of all Americans. Dr. William Shockley, one of our guests, has had quite a difficult time speaking at some universities, and particularly some Black college students do not agree with his theories. On Black Journal, we feel that Dr. Shockley's rights in the First Amendment area are parallel to Black people's rights. That is, that Dr. Shockley must have a platform for his views if Black people are to have a platform for their views. Dr. Frances Welsing, on the other side, has difficulty in expressing her views on legitimate mass media outlets because many whites do not agree with her theory of genetics. Now let's find out what the controversy is about. Dr. Shockley, please give us the benefit basically of what your theory is.
My principal point, Mr. Brown, is not so much a theory of black-white differences, but is summed up in one word, which is the theme of my appearance on your program and my efforts, and the word is dysgenics. And dysgenics means effectively downbreeding, retrogressive evolution. Oh. And I fear that this is worst for the Black community, and I particularly welcome an opportunity to appear on Black Journal just for these reasons. And let me say also that when I first met Dr. Welsing, it was not black students who were disrupting, but white students. And Dr. Welsing made a very sincere and I thought extremely effective effort, a well-planned effort. It was not effective with these white students at Staten Island Community College, so I would have a chance to speak. In fact, I think they prevented her from saying what she wanted to say when she was trying to gain me a platform. So my main theme is that we have problems that we should face, and we should look at connected with dysgenics. And I welcome any opportunity I have to bring this out so that people can look at it and worry about it.
Dr. Shaka, you are accused of having a theory that is a white racist theory. How do you respond to that?
Well, I respond to that by saying that I've considered whether or not I am a racist. Racist is an epithet that used to damage my self-esteem, but it doesn't anymore. I feel it's untrue. If you look in the dictionary as to what racist means, it means emotional feelings, irrational feelings associated with fear and hate. If I really had those, I don't think I would be here this evening. I feel that what I'm engaged in is a demand for diagnosis. And I'd like to say some more about this chart, which we'll come to probably later, which shows the disproportionate rates of reproduction for the least effective elements of the black community. I'd like to say more about that than we should in just this brief introduction. But I think there is another word that better describes what I'm involved in, and that word is raceology, which means a scientific analysis of racial differences. And I basically have a faith that reason is a good thing, and I feel as you do about the First Amendment, but maybe with a slightly different emphasis. I think the really important thing about the First Amendment is it is a way of guaranteeing.
You ever heard somebody like talk and they not saying nothing? This is really white noise right here. What the hell?
A high likelihood that truth will emerge as a result of conflicting ideas being expressed. And I have a thesis and a basic belief that truth is a good thing and will be of benefit to man.
Thank you. Dr. Frances Welsing, give us the benefit of your theory, please.
She washed them.
Well, my theory was, I wrote the paper in 1969. I wrote a paper called The Crest Theory of Color Confrontation and Racism. And the sole reason behind writing that paper was an attempt to understand the behavior of white people in relationship to all people.
Yo, just 1 minute of her 1 minute of her voice cancels out everything that this dude previously. I don't even know what he said, bro. The hell? I like how they say white.
Of color, every place in the world, black, brown, red, and yellow people. And the paper was presented to the Americans at the National Medical Association, the section on psychiatry in neurology, because back in 1969, the Black Caucus in the American Psychiatric Association, we had said that racism, and when we talk about racism, we're talking about the white supremacy behavior of white people. That racism was the #1 mental health problem in the nation, and it was the #1 cause of other mental health problems. And I wanted to understand what this thing of racism really is all about, because it's the thing that has caused woe and misery and suffering for the vast majority of the people on this planet that are classified as non-white. And in my attempt to understand why the necessity of white people to keep saying that white is superior and that the condition of non-white is inferior. And the more I thought about it, in conjunction with an idea that a friend of mine had, that racism was a worldwide behavioral system for the maintenance of white supremacy by a small minority of people, I put those ideas together with what we know about genetics, what we know about the condition of skin whiteness itself. The condition of skin whiteness is the genetic inability to produce skin pigment called melanin. This is a genetic recessive trait. It is a genetic deficiency state, not as defined by Frances Welsing, but defined by geneticists and dermatologists, that the inability to produce the skin pigment of melanin or melanin pigment is described as albinism. And I think that white people, even though most white people are not consciously understanding their problem in genetics, they are certainly aware that they are genetically dominated by people of color. That's why it was a statement, one drop of black blood makes you black, because people of color have the genetic capacity to annihilate white people. And so unless white people control the reproductivity of people of color, then we can postulate that perhaps one day there won't be any white people. And I think that the very survival of white people necessitates that they project genetic inferiority on people of color, because it is they who really are aware that they are genetic recessive and perhaps genetically inferior to people of color. And I am not saying this to call the condition of skin whiteness to say, well, no, white people are inferior. I'm not saying it for that purpose, but I think that it is of prime importance for the majority of people in the world to understand why it is that white people have to, the effective majority, large numbers of white people, have to move in a hostile and an aggressive way against people of color, and have to constantly focus on it's you who's genetically inferior, because they realize that there's something wrong with their genetic status. Now,
may I take a call?
Oh, sure,
all right.
please.
Let me, so that, because we have a number of calls, and we'll see what the public wants to find out also. Just 1 second. Hello, go ahead, please. You're on Black Journal.
I would like to ask the question, why does the doctor feel that his theory, Dr. Shockley, why did you feel that your theory is correct?
Well, let me say that's a long question. Let me point out one aspect. I mean, it's a question that calls for a very long answer. I think I might just at this point say that in a time like 1 hour, we may expose a problem and encourage thinking about it, and this is a very valuable thing. But to cover either Dr. Welsing's views or mine, and let me say here are, just to show that these things exist, is a pamphlet that she was good enough to give me some time ago.
This one's upside down.
Well, that one's upside down. Yeah, thank you.
Right.
And this is one of my own. It's actually a collection of a debate.
The Imperatives of Ethnic Education is yours.
This is the issue of the journal. Mine was, the title of my paper is somewhat different from this, but I want to say that, speaking for myself, if people would like to write to me at Stanford University, I have a post box there, Post Box S, which is the same as Shockley and Stanford. I will try to supply more information, and I'm sure Dr. Welsing will say what she can do about telling people how to reach her pamphlet. Okay. But now let me say this chart that I held up a moment ago is very important.
They weren't built because they were, as he says, less than. I believe people are born evil.
No,
it's not.
You're a fugazi, right? Somebody send that to Nick Cannon. That's how you handle yourself. You know what I'm talking about? That's how you handle yourself. You sit there poised and you sit down with your back straight and you sit on the truth. You sit on the truth. How ironic is it? And if you go to Howard and you let Nick Cannon come back into Howard, where Dr. Francis Cress Welsing is alumni after he did not stand up for her, after he said in his apology that the information that he got wasn't right. And he quoted her. And he quoted the Iceman inheritance. If he's allowed back into Howard University, then Howard University is a fraud. This woman in the 60s, when John Lewis was getting spit on and snuffed and taking all kind of shots and not doing nothing, she was on the front line teaching. She was out there putting it on the line with the Crest theory. She was getting death threats. They were talking about they was going to fire her and all of that. They was talking about they was going to take her livelihood. And she stood on her square. You never heard her apologize. What the hell is going on? Oh, let's not even Andrew Schultz. Charlemagne is one thing. Andrew Schultz, it came out his mouth. So he got an answer for that. So there's a green light on him until we hear what the fuck he got to say about what he said. There's no other way around that. You don't come into our community. I don't know who this man think he. You do not come into this community, and that's what I was saying about the woke community. And this is why we have problems. They don't have any master teachers. Do you know who the master teacher in the woke community is? John Lewis. That's their master teachers. Nelson Mandela. They don't have any master teachers in the woke community. The LBGT, Black Lives Matter, they never showed you no master teachers. They never gave you a book list. They said Angela Davis is their inspiration. She's a sellout. She's a op. She worked with Gloria Steinem against the Panthers. No, I don't think that she was a vanguard for the woke community. I would not say that Dr. Frances Cress Welsing was a vanguard to the woke community. I don't know where you might have heard that because Mark Lamont Hill, he threw her under the bus. Henry Louis Gates is their master teacher. Oprah is their master teacher. No. He didn't. He hollered at us. My family was the first family that he interviewed for the Dr. Sebi documentary. He ain't put us in a trailer. But my family, Mama Pill, Blue, Red, KT, shit, Dr. Inky was there, Chef Aki was there. We all got interviewed by Nick Cannon. We were the first people that they interviewed when the documentary started filming in Atlanta. What the fuck does that mean? Do you think that Professor Griff is going to be on the final cut? I don't even think I'm going to make the final cut. He's going to chop me up out of that piece because I went in on him on his page. Then he talking about he feeling suicidal. Yeah, I saw the one with Dr. Ben. So nobody can say that Dr. Frances Cress Welsing did not defend her science. That's not pseudoscience. It can never be because she won all of her debates. And y'all scared to debate. They sent a rabbi to Harlem and they sent him home in a box. You know what I'm talking about? He got washed. There is no debate. So if they ever want to stand on their pseudoscience of them being equal or whatever they trying to claim, then it's on and popping like popcorn. But they would never do that. They're deflecting right now, and they're using bully tactics to people who they got probably sex tapes on. Because if they making people write apology letters like that, my question is, what level of blackmail do you have? Because that wasn't a death threat. Because if somebody was threatening Nick Cannon's life, he could have just been like, "Yo, they threatening my life." If he's threatened, you got you got a black militia in these streets. You got Rizza Islam in the FOI. You got the brothers in Shreveport. Sleep is for the rich. You got all of these people. You mean to tell me if he put out a tweet, yo, they out here threatening my life. Then they threaten them for the Dr. Sebi documentary? So, no, that wasn't a threat. Because people is like, because I got the phone call. Yo, you going too hard. You're gonna get taken off of the documentary. I don't give a fuck about no documentary. Nigga, are you serious? So you want me to lap dance? You want me to tuck my tail? You want to put a gag order on me? For who? Nick Cannon? I'm good. I'm good. He could keep that. You know what I'm talking about? He could keep that. I tell my own story. I'm not gonna tell you who said that. But I got the call. I'm like, fuck no. Fuck out of here. And I'm not even supposed to be cursing. Not after he did what he did. You threw Professor Griff under the bus. You threw Dr. Francis Cress Wilson under the bus. You throw me under the bus. You don't got no love. You throw Dr. Sabi under the bus if that was the case. Did Revolt? He needs to get a Revolt or Byron Allen or Oprah. No. That's all control opposition. Let me show you something about Revolt. You want to talk about Revolt? Because everybody be falling for the okie doke, but we here to wake us up. We here to wake us up. The hell? Did he talk about come over to Revolt? Look what they did in Revolt. The same day that he told them to do that. Look what happened at Revolt. And he told it's all black owned. All right, let's go see what's up with Revolt. Since Diddy is talking like he could save people, let's go see what's up with Revolt. Here go Revolt. Sean Combs Revolt TV announces new leadership. Roma Khanna steps down as CEO. All right, so the CEO, he said, come over here, right? Because he's the face of Revolt, right? He's the face that sells it to you. He said, come over here, Nick. This is black owned. Right? Hold on. I'm sharing the screen. Let me show you the screen. Thought I was sharing. There goes Revolt. How many people want to bet that Roma Khanna is not a sister? That Roma Khanna don't got none either. That Roma Khanna is not seasoning her chicken. How many people want to bet? How many? Let's go. Here's Roma. Let's look at the date that they made her step down, because this is how they work. Oh, you let Farrakhan on your network? Who's the CEO? She got to go. We need new leadership. What do you mean? Look, we can't fire Puffy because he's not even a CEO. The CEO got to go, because if you let Farrakhan get up there and do that Criterion and you broadcasted it on Revolt and you let the world see it, you got to go. You got to go. Huh? You got to go. When did he throw Professor Griff or Doc? Are you just joining us? You're not on the internet, I see. Right? You're not on the internet. He did that all week. He was doing that. He called Professor Griff Richard Griffin. I didn't even know that his name was Richard Griffin. I sent that man a Cash App. I didn't send it in the name of Richard Griffin. You understand? I did business with Professor Griff. I didn't even know his name was Richard Griffin. I thought his name was Kayvon Shaw. He went and dug up his old government. I mean, come on now. Yeah, so this is the CEO of Revolt. So they ousted her because she had Farrakhan on the platform. Okay, that's why she stepped down. Right? But nobody wanted to talk about that she had racism claims against her in 2017. According to a letter sent to Revolt Board by an ex-employee who claims to be a young, educated black woman, Khanna has openly admitted black women intimidate her. The woman also alleged Khanna reposted the idea of Meek Mill speaking about prison reform with a racist comment. She claims Khanna said maybe the conversation isn't about prison reform, maybe it's about how to stay out of jail, black boy. The letter obtained by the New York Post also claims Khanna laid off 30% of the revolt staff for restructuring, and 90% of them was African American, right? Diddy told TMZ the story is inaccurate. We are a black owned and operated network, and we have a zero tolerance policy for discrimination of any kind. Revolt is led by a woman of color who is expected to uphold the same standards that I hold for all of my companies. So, a woman of color, right? So, this is the new CEO, DeTavio Samuels, right? Is his wrist broken? That's all I want to know. Is his wrist broken? I don't know. Is his wrist broken? Okay, because they'll bring a person on, and they wrist is they black on the skin surface, but they Romans. But they Roman. They Roman by nature. Greco-Roman, that is. When in Rome, do as the Romans do. You know, you have black Romans that was Chichiman. You know, you have black Romans that was going against the people like Saint Maurice. You have Roman emperors that were melanated. So don't just give me a black face like that's supposed to mean something. These niggas is Romans. Roman with a tan. Because you know the Greeks got melanin. So let's send some energy out to our sister, Tamar Braxton, right? The one of the Braxton sisters who, although she was, you know, kind of airheady, that was one of the favorite. I liked her the most. She was the most animated of the bunch, right? She has attempted suicide because she said that the networks destroyed her family. Did you see? She put out another statement. She said that We TV came in between her network. I mean, her family. The peace that she had in her family, they put them against each other, right? And she shaved her head bald, the same thing that Tiffany Haddish did. What's that about? And now she took mad pills and whatnot, and she was like, she want to kill herself. Now, to be honest with you, you don't know if she did it or not. You don't know if she did it or not because they out here suiciding people these days. You know what I'm talking about? But she just went up against the networks and they beat her down. She went up against the networks and they beat her down. Yeah, that's how reality TV works. Look, I was on an episode of what was that? Um, what was that? Me and my ex-girlfriend went on there. Damn, what was the name of that show? Uh, yeah, don't judge me either. They paid me $300. I paid the rent with it. And me and my girl was a model at that time in 2003. Right? Um, what was the name of the reality show that we went on? It was a dating show. The shit is a classic. If anybody got footage, send it to me. Cause you niggas will not try to you will not try to blow me up. Change your heart. How did you know? I was on Change Your Heart. Don't judge me. I was on Change Your Heart. I wasn't on Jerry Springer. I was on Change. Yes, yes, 2003. I was a knuckle dragger. Don't judge me. I was real clean. I was, I was flossy. I was representing. The waves was spinning. I had on a yellow, yeah, and I didn't. I did I change my heart on her? I'm trying to think. Did I change my? I don't know if I changed my heart on her. But the girl who I went on a date with, yeah, I stayed with my girl because it was all, you know, it was all for TV. It was all for TV. But I got a glimpse on how the producers work, right? The producer was LBGT. It was an Asian LBGT, right? It was we call him Bruce Ice T, right? Instead of Bruce Lee, he was Bruce Lee Lee. You know what I'm talking about? Bruce Lee Lee. You know what I'm talking about? And he was LBGT. So he was like, he came in the room, he was like, are you serious that you don't want to change your heart? I'm like, what? He was like, really? Are you serious that you don't want to change your heart? Because we'll pay you extra money if you change your heart. I was like, fam, I gotta go home with my girl. Like, if you don't get out of my dressing room and stop with the chichiman shit, bro. But they manipulate. Anybody from Love and Hip Hop will tell you that the producers are a piece of crap. Anybody who does reality television, they're going to tell you that it's the producers who are the ones who wedge the family members and people against each other because they are with the messiness, right? They brought their mentality and they injected it into the scripts of reality television. So even though the basketball wives are not LBGT, they're messy like a bunch of transsexual women. They're messy like a bunch of men who just sit around catty all day and talk about other people. They even made the men on Love and Hip Hop metrosexual, like mad catty and whatnot. You can't even have gangsters on Love and Hip Hop. They like, I can't stay here. So I got a glimpse of how that world works. And I was like, I would never play myself and be a part of that that smoke and mirrors and whatnot. I did that because I was with Bay. You know what I'm saying? And she wanted to be on TV. I'm like, all right, I got warrants, but let's do it. And I don't regret it because it was a little episode. Somebody said Kanye is going off on Twitter. He said, Get Out is about him, just like you said. Yeah, he's having a Twitter meltdown, right? So let's go to Twitter because I could share my screen. You know what I'm saying? I like to have real time experiences with the family. We're not going to make fun of that man. We're not here to make fun of him. Don't talk about. We just want to see what's happening. We just want to see what's happening. Let's go and see where's Kanye. Let's follow him. I don't know if I'm following him, but here we go. Yeah, look at your boy. Tyreek said that he's bussy. He said he bussy playing. Oh man, yeah, they love moist men out in these streets. Good luck. He said Chris and Kim called me now. And Anna Wintour always showed me love, but when I told her I was going to the Gap, she looked at me like I was crazy. Then she called back kissing my ass. Shia was disposed to do the first Yeezy Gap shoot and he never showed up. If I get locked up like Mandela, y'all will know why. Kim tried to bring a doctor to lock me up with a doctor. Shia is Cap on guard. Come and get me. This is the Exodus, like Pusha said. Drake. I don't know. I put my life on my God. That's North's mom would never photograph her doing Playboy, and that's on God. I'm at the ranch. Come and get me. I put my life on the line for my children. That's North's mother would never sell her sex rape. Everybody knows the movie Get Out is about me. Chris, don't play with me. You and that Kanye are not allowed around my children. Y'all tried to lock me up, right? So the brother is having issues, right? Jennifer Lawrence, Halle Berry, right? So we're not going to laugh at him. We're going to unpack the mental crisis that is Hollywood, right? Because that's what that is. Mothers, don't aspire to send your little daughter, right, to Hollywood. Don't aspire to sign off your young son to Disney. I got beautiful babies. You think I don't want to put them on TV? But how is that gonna? The only way that I would ever put them on any network is if I had control of that network. You know what I'm talking about? Look at these child stars. Look at what they're doing to them. Look at the meltdown that's going on. How many suicides have taken place in Hollywood over the past 2 weeks? Talk black to me. That's not a coincidence. That's not a conspiracy. You know what I mean? And everything is not about Jeff Epstein. I don't think people is doing all of that because Jeff Epstein is about to because they running from the Jeff Epstein tapes. That couch in Hollywood is definitely toxic. You know, for the sisters that went out there and for the brothers that went out there and got butt broke, I have sympathy for you. I send you my condolences because at the end of the day, everybody didn't know what they were getting into, right? Everybody didn't know what they were getting into. So we have some beautiful children. We got indigo babies out here. I've met some of y'all children. I'm talking about you can see the light. You can see the light in them. They are geniuses. They are reincarnated gods and goddesses. The ancestors have come back in our children. But when we want them to shine, when we want the world to because children have healing energy. So if Hollywood was really a place of giving children a platform where they could really express themselves, we would be getting healed every other day by a child because children have healing energy. But that's not what I see when Nickelodeon comes on and my daughter's watching it. That's not what I see when my son is glued to the TV screen watching Disney, right? Watching Jesse and watching what's the show with the little white boy? He's a little superhero and he got the grown man who looks very pedo like. What about that show where they had the evil dude and there was another dude? I mean, I don't know, I don't see it anymore, but they had an evil dude who looked like he had like a black what was the name of the show? Y'all know what I'm talking about. There's more Ye tweets. There's more Ye tweets. We're gonna get back to the Ye tweets in a minute. You know what I mean? The little black girl on Jesse, right? Look at her. They growing her up mad fast. What's her girl's name? Zendaya. They trying to turn her out into a little sex symbol where the pedophiles is lusting over her. And they already ran her through the show on HBO where they sexualized her. I just was looking at her as a little girl on Disney when my son was watching her. Lab Rats, Adventure Bros. I don't think that was the name of it. Yeah, this was a show with humans in it, and it was very heavy in pedophilia energy. Is that Blue's Clues? Blue's Clues. That's what I'm talking about. Blue's Clues. Very heavy pedophilia energy. Very heavy pedophilia energy. Let's not even talk about the videos on YouTube for the children. So children have a healing energy. Yeah, Henry Danger. Who's in danger? Henry Danger. Who is in danger? That little boy is in the basement with that other man and they chew bubble gum to become superheroes. Who's in danger? Yeah, Barney is suspect. And yeah, Pee Wee Herman set it off with all of that weird energy. It started with Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. He was a pedo. Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, where he's sitting around getting dressed, putting on his cardigan and whatnot. For who? Who are you getting dressed for? And where's that little train going? You know what I'm talking about? Bananas in pajamas. Put a banana in a pajama. What are they saying? Bert and Ernie, the original Fossies. You know what I'm saying? Did they say that Elmo was gay? Did they not come out and say that Elmo was gay? Bert and Ernie, right? Bert and Ernie, where niggas was like, damn, because everybody got one of those uncles in their family. They like, yo, that remind me of Uncle Jay, who's living with his friend. They said they was in the war together, you know, and they drink beers all day. You know what I mean? They remind me of him. SpongeBob, yeah. Yeah, Bert and Ernie was in an entanglement. You know what I'm talking about? Bert and Ernie was in an entanglement. Yeah, Mr. Rogers. Yeah, he was a weird fellow. He's an odd fellow. Even the odd couple. The odd couple. What were they doing together? What made them so odd? Remember, there's an organization called the Odd Fellows, right? It's a Masonic order called the Odd Fellows. When I was in Atlanta on Auburn Street, Sweet Auburn, they have the Prince Hall Masons, and then right next to it is the Odd Fellows. I don't ever want to be around no man calling himself an odd fellow. You know what I'm talking about? So, and Tom Hanks did the remake. Boom. And we all know who Tom Hanks is these days. Peter Pan, the boy that never want to grow up. Boom. Yeah, that's them Nabla boys, right? Playing with them little boys. That's them Nabla boys. Yeah, talk black to me. Now it makes sense. Pinky in the brain. Whose brain are they talking about? And what pinky is this? What is going on? All of these subliminals. All of these subliminals. Mr. Hook? Captain Hook? Who is he hooking? Captain Hook? Peter Pan? He's a fairy? He got the fairies around him? This nigga has wings on his feet? Yeah, okay. All right. So there's a lot of subliminals. There's a lot of subliminals that we didn't even know about. Yeah. Somebody said Chip and Dale was suspect. I think so. I think so. Chip and Dale. And then they turned Chip and Dales into some male strippers. I think Huey, Louie, and Dewey are suspect. Batman and Robin. What's my dude? Who Bruce Lee? Bruce Lee was with the nigga with his little sidekick. You know what I'm saying? Batman and Robin. You know, Robin is the wife. Don't let your kids watch Adventure Time. So we say all of that to say, are there any animators out there who could come up with some cartoons? Green Hornet. Yeah, that was Green Hornet. I remember being in St. Croix watching the Green Hornet movie, and I was like, there's something strange about this movie. I mean, I used to like Bruce Lee and everything, but the way that they wrote that movie, even at a young age, I was like, no, this don't feel right. Batman, yeah, he's in that cave. And he's in that cave with Albert, right? And he does a lot of he curves Batwoman all the time. But Robin is always there. And them niggas wear tight suits. Gotta watch out for these tight suit wearing superheroes. I want my superhero to wear some baggy shit. You know what I'm talking about? No, I'm not saying that Bruce Lee was the suspect. Bruce Lee doesn't write the movie. Bruce Lee is not the producer, right? Bruce Lee is starring in the movie. Bruce Lee might not even know about the subliminals. And Seth Rogen redid Green Hornet as a Jewish Neanderthal. Boom. It was Green Hornet and Kato, right? Remember Kato from the OJ case? Right? Remember Kato? Green Hornet and Kato. I'm like, nah. They got them rings, but they don't got no women. How you not making a woman? You got green rings. You couldn't create a woman to play with? You couldn't do no weird science, my niggas? All kind of shit coming out of the rings. They creating bats, guns, hammers. You couldn't create a Pamela Anderson? You know what I'm saying? I ain't buying it. Robin Hood and his merry men, all in the forest with them tights on. Yeah, the Smurfs had one female. How is that? How Smurfette was handling all of them Smurfs? Where was the rest of the females, family? You know what I'm talking about? Papa Smurf? They didn't get no other females, and I mean, come on now. It was one woman in the whole Smurf village. It was one woman in the whole Smurf village. What were they telling us subliminally? Huh? Because you had Brainy Smurf. Where was Horny Smurf? Huh? Where was Horny Smurf? Why didn't he ever show up in the cartoons? No, I'm actually sober, on God. Garfield and Odie. Huh? Garfield and Odie. With all of them fine cats running around looking for somebody to purr on them. You mean to tell me that Garfield never ran into a female cat? Ed, and Eddie. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. You know what they said about midgets? Talk black to me. Yeah, Snow White with them 7 dudes who put her to sleep. And when she was sleeping, they was presiding over her body. Right? Come on now. You in the woods with 7 dwarfs? You know what I'm saying? What are y'all doing? And then you let the prince come and kiss her? I don't know about all that. Ren and Stimpy. At least Pepe Le Pew was chasing some tail. Pepe Le Pew was a real coxman. He wasn't dealing with chasing no men. You know what I mean? Winnie the Pooh and Piglet. Wasn't Piglet mad moist? Right? Wasn't Piglet mad moist? Piglet was sounding like, well, put some bass in your voice, Piglet. And why you drink, why you chase, why is that man feeding you honey? Why is that man feeding you honey with his finger? He didn't even, I saw a cartoon where Winnie the Pooh was feeding that man honey with his finger. Yeah, that's real moist. Somebody said Sylvester and Tweety, y'all just bringing up combinations now. Nah, somebody said their childhood is crumbling. The Rugrats, the Teletubbies was mad moist. The Rugrats, they had issues. Ren and Stimpy, yes, they was super duper moist. You know. Now, the ultimate gay couple is SpongeBob and Patrick. That is the ultimate gay couple. They're in Bikini Bottom, right? Bikini Bottom, inside of a pineapple. You know what I'm talking about? Patrick he's wild slow, you know, and SpongeBob is the AG in the relationship. What? SpongeBob is not gay? Y'all want to tell me? All right, hold on. I'm about to destroy your childhood right now. You shouldn't have did that. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't have dared me. I'm gonna show you something that you're not ready for. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. My son got the SpongeBob sneakers. I'm about to take him back. He got the SpongeBob Kyries. Somebody's like, leave SpongeBob alone. Okay. There you go. There you go. He's an ally. He's an ally. You know? But that's the soft rollout. That's the soft rollout. Right? That's the soft rollout. First he stands with them, then he sits with them. Okay? You see how that works? First he stands with them, then he sits with them. Right? A battle on a bikini bottom. Talk black to me. Yeah. It destroyed me too when I saw it. I was rooting for SpongeBob. That was my guy. But yeah, that's true. That's what's up. You know? So now that we've laughed and hardy hard, let's go for some hard information. Because all of these cartoons are written by a group of people. The same people that your boy had to apologize to. Remember, I pointed it out that white supremacy is the low-hanging fruit. They are the scapegoats. But the true enemy of mankind is not is not necessarily the white man. Is a lackey. He's a lackey. I'm gonna show you who we really got to worry about. Strap in your seatbelts and take notes, please.
Sabbatai Zevi declared himself to be the Jewish Messiah in the year 1666. This false Messiah led the largest Messiah movement in Jewish history and attracted more than half the population of European Jews. How did he do it? By promising to return the Jews to their ancestral homeland in Palestine. Sabbatai Zevi made everything that was holy unholy. He rejected the rules of the Jewish holy books and every standard of Jewish decency. There would be no more guilt or sin or right or wrong. No more sexual taboos, no more 10 commandments, no more fasting. Instead, there would be feasting. Sabbatai Zevi's immoral leadership finally fell from grace when the Sultan of Turkey threatened him with torture unless he converted to Islam. Sabbatai converted to Islam, but he brought his infectious evil theology with him. 1 century later, Jacob Frank proclaimed himself to be the reincarnation of Sabbatai Zevi and the living Messiah for all Jews. Not even Sabbatai Zevi was as evil as Jacob Frank and his disciples. Jacob Frank rejected traditional Judaism. He reversed the truth and told his followers, since we can't all be saints, let's all be sinners. The best way to imitate God, said Frank, is to cross every boundary, transgress every taboo, and mix, as God did, the sacred with the profane. Orgies, incest, rape, and sexual intercourse with children, including sodomy on young boys, were no longer sinful. In 1773, Jacob Frank traveled to Frankfurt, Germany, the birthplace of the Illuminati. That's where he formed an unholy alliance with Adam Weishaupt and Mayor Amschel Rothschild's banking dynasty. The ambition of the Rothschild dynasty was to win control of the world's gold, central banks, and wealth. The Rothschilds sent John Jacob Astor, Jacob Schiff, and Paul Warburg to America, where they influenced the privatization of the Federal Reserve banking system and the dismantling of the American Constitution.
This is the secret society. These are the people.
Weishaupt and the Jesuits was to take control of the
These are the people. This is Hollywood. This is the music industry. This is Facebook. This is social media. This is the Zuckins. This they call crypto Jews. They are undercover. This is them. Go and do the research on the Jacobians, on the Frank. Go and write these names down, please. And do this is some of the most deepest information that you will receive to give you a greater understanding about who you are dealing with. So we are not confused and we don't have to be manipulated. Please, I beg you, because they're going to take this down. I might even lose my page because I put this up.
Vatican and its hierarchy of Catholic clergy. Weishaupt formed the Order of the Illuminati and infiltrated the Freemasonic lodges with his doctrine until every Masonic lodge in every nation accepted it. The Frankist goal was the destruction and replacement of Jewish ethics with a satanic religion based on the exact opposite of Jewish teachings.
When Farrakhan said in the Criterion, he went against, he said, throw away that book, right? Throw away, what did he say? The Talmud, right? And pick up the Torah. So these Jews, when they came along and they uprooted the Jewish religion, they threw away one book to pick up another. And they said that we are going to do all things demonic, rather doing all things angelic, because they're summoning who? They're summoning these entities. They're dealing with a very deep, dark energy. So this is Epstein. This is Weinstein. This is the baby eating. This is the LBGT community. This is everything in a nutshell. These are their master teachers. This is the foundation they don't want you to know.
When this unholy alliance of conscienceless men was seeded, a cancerous war against humanity.
Jacob Frank, Adam Weishaupt, that's the Illuminati, Rothschild. That's when you bring that up, that's where they like, yo, shut it down. You can't say nothing about these people.
Humanity erupted. With Rothschild financing, Jacob Frank became fabulously wealthy and was put in charge of spreading a Luciferian theology that would be the hidden hand behind future wars and revolutions. Jacob Frank's followers were called Sabbatean Frankists. They practiced witchcraft and occult rituals, including animal and human sacrifices. Lucifer, they declared, was the true God. The Sabbatean Frankists expanded their movement by masquerading as converts to other religions. They converted to Catholicism and to Islam, where they embedded themselves and spread their Luciferian infection as closeted crypto Jews.
Crypto.
The Frankists traded their wives and daughters with members and with powerful non-members who they needed to seduce into their cult.
What the heck? All right, that's the same thing that they said Weinstein, they said Epstein was doing, right? That's the same thing that you see people like Kanye complaining about. I don't know what happened. It cut off. Let me bring it back, right? That's the same thing where he was like, yo, y'all out here sleeping with children and they're giving up their own children. That's Brooke Shields. That's all of these parents giving up their children in Hollywood for these people to do to them.
Declared himself to be the Jewish.
That's Madonna's children. That's Charlize Theron's children. That's Epstein was utilizing the sex tapes. He was utilizing blackmail by bringing little girls and women and flying them around. He was a pimp. He was utilizing these women to blackmail politicians and people in power. So if they got a tape on Nick Cannon, because it wasn't a death threat that they threw at it, that they threw out the fact that they was going to leak a tape probably on his ass, and that's what shut his ass up.
Messiah in the year 1666. This false Messiah led the largest Messiah movement in Jewish history and attracted more than half the population of European Jews. How did he do it? By promising to return the Jews to their ancestral homeland in Palestine.
Did they not get returned to Palestine? Did they not get returned to Palestine? Yes, they did. So the Messiahs, whatever the Messiah told them that he was going to do, he fulfilled it. That's why I said there's a conflict of interest, fear of a black or more Messiah. They are pushing their Messiah and we are pushing our Messiah. So how could you sign to a label where they won't even let you be messianic? How could you be around these people where they rocking with their Messiah? Their whole Messiah aspect is completely different from yours, and they will not accept the African Messiah.
Sabbatai Zevi made everything that was holy unholy.
Everything.
He rejected the rules of the Jewish holy books and every standard of Jewish decency. There would be no more guilt or sin or right or wrong. No more sexual taboos, no more 10 commandments, no more fasting. Instead, there would be feasting. Sabbatai Zevi's immoral leadership finally fell from grace when the Sultan of Turkey threatened him with torture unless he converted to Islam. Sabbatai converted to Islam, but he brought his infectious evil theology with him.
So in the word Sabbatai, you get sabotage, right? So look this up. The Sabbatean Frankist movement. This is of extreme importance. Any single time you're dealing with these people and you want to debate, any single time where you want to break down, because they're going to be like, not all Jews. Wash them up with the information. Yeah, not all Jews, whatever, cool. But you motherfuckers is in bed with them because you never said nothing. You didn't teach us about this. You didn't teach us that the people that were being persecuted inside of quote unquote Germany and other places, these were these people that they were killing.
1 century later, Jacob Frank proclaimed himself to be the reincarnation of Sabbatai Zevi and the living Messiah for all Jews. Not even Sabbatai Zevi was as evil as Jacob Frank and his disciples. Jacob Frank rejected traditional Judaism. He reversed the truth and told his followers, since we can't all be saints, let's all be sinners. The best way to imitate God, said Frank, is to cross every boundary, transgress every taboo, and mix, as God did, the sacred with the profane. Orgies, incest, rape.
Is that not the pornography industry? Is that not Hollywood? Is that not the record industry? Is that not the fucking drug gang? Is that not everywhere that they controlling? They mix the profane. This is all in their hands. This is what the pogroms were about. This is why they were being ran out of countries. That's why they were being burned at the stake. Go and research the pogroms that were taking place in Eastern Europe and Eastern and West in Russia and other places. This is what they were dealing with.
And sexual intercourse with children, including sodomy on young boys.
This not what the LBGT is about? Is this not what the fucking rise of the rainbow shit is about? That's this right here.
We're no longer sinful. In 1773, Jacob Frank traveled to Frankfurt, Germany, the birthplace of the Illuminati. That's where he formed an unholy alliance with Adam Weishaupt and Mayor Amschel Rothschild's banking dynasty. The ambition of the Rothschild dynasty was to win control of the world's gold, central banks, and wealth. The Rothschilds sent John Jacob Astor, Jacob Schiff, and Paul Warburg to America, where they influenced the privatization of the Federal Reserve banking system and the dismantling of the American Constitution. The goal of Weishaupt and the Jesuits was to take control of the Vatican and its hierarchy of Catholic clergy. Weishaupt formed the Order of the Illuminati and infiltrated the Freemasonic lodges with his doctrine until every Masonic lodge in every nation accepted it. The Frankist goal was the destruction and replacement of Jewish ethics with a satanic religion based on the exact opposite of Jewish teachings. When this unholy alliance of conscienceless men was seeded, a cancerous war against humanity erupted. With Rothschild financing, Jacob Frank became fabulously wealthy and was put in charge of spreading a Luciferian theology that would be the hidden hand behind future wars and revolutions. Jacob Frank's followers were called Sabbatean Frankists. They practiced witchcraft and occult rituals, including animal and human sacrifices. Lucifer, they declared, was the true God. The Sabbatean Frankists expanded their movement by masquerading as converts to other religions.
Cryptos.
They converted to Catholicism and to Islam, where they embedded themselves and spread their Luciferian infection as closeted crypto Jews.
Crypto.
The Frankists traded their wives and daughters with members and with powerful non-members who they needed to seduce into their cult. Jewish professor Gershon Scholem, the protocols written in the late 1700s describe in precise detail the world domination plan that is unfolding today. Rabbi Marvin Antelman charges that the world today is ruled by a Sabbatean Frankist satanic cult that has conspired with the Illuminati to destroy all religions and fuse all nations into one.
I have joining me today Dr. and Rabbi Marvin Antelman. Welcome to the show, Rabbi.
Thank you very much for having me here. First of all, let me say this. There are a lot of conspiracy theories out there. I'm not interested in theories. I'm interested in facts. So the scholarship over the years that I've utilized are sources that are impeccable. A man by the name of Shabbatai Tzvi, who was born in 1626 and died in 1676, came along and said, I am the Messiah. And he had a tremendous following. When it was realized that his following was so great, there would be problems, the Sultan gave Shabbatai a choice. Either you die or convert to Islam. So he converted. Now, there were about 1 million followers prior to the conversion. When the conversion happened, then there was disillusionment among the Jews. But there were some diehard people who set up different cults of Shabbatai Tzvi. And the worst one of them was called the Domeh, which was a secret organization. And the Domeh was based in Turkey and in Salonika. And the Domeh gave rise to these terrible orgies that went on, which became part of the immorality theology of Shabbatai Tzvi, corrupted later on. He apostatized himself 10 years before his death. So when he died in 1676, he had these cults doing all kinds of evil.
And the reason that these followers of Shabbatai Tzvi were doing evil was because what?
Here's the thing. The Talmud says that the Messiah would come when everybody's good or everybody's bad. There is such a saying in the Talmud. So the Sabbatians said like this: it's impossible for everybody to be good. It's easy to be bad. So they turned around the Torah and they said, if you do an evil deed, then you will use up the energy of the universe, and it'll collapse, and you'll force the Messiah to come because you will have used up all the evil in the world. So whenever they engage in an orgy, they would make a bracha, and every day they would figure out a way to do as many sins as possible. Like if you eat chaylev, you're chayav karet. In other words, if you eat fat, according to the Torah, you're to be excommunicated from your people. So they would eat fat that was prohibited, non-kosher fat, from a kosher animal, which is chaylev, which is in that category, like eating blood from a
So they would dafka do the opposite.
They do the opposite
in order to hasten the
coming of the Messiah. After Shabbatai Tzvi died, one of the most powerful Sabbatian cults, as they were called, was a transformation of the Domeh, the most extreme cult, to Europe through an insidious person by the name of Jacob Frank. He died in 1791.
Jacob.
Now the Frankists started to spread and take over entire communities and make them satanic. And you can actually trace a line historically, which I do in my book, to the CFR from Shabbatai Tzvi, and another organization called the Illuminati, which was founded in 1776 by Adam Weishaupt. And they were involved also in the French Revolution, which is also well documented.
So what you're saying is that there really does exist a new world order, that it's not a conspiracy theory, it's a conspiracy.
Right, and Professor Katz wrote a book called The Jews and Freemasonry, which gives a history of the interface between Jews and some of the cults that derived out of Shabbatai Tzvi. But the next big cult that came from Shabbatai Tzvi after the Domeh organization, which is in Turkey, the next big cult were the Frankists, as I mentioned with Jacob Frank. So Jacob Frank the Bad Arbor thought the Council for Land wanted to deal with Frank, and they decided to have a big excommunication on the 20th of Sivan 250 years ago. And there, they made the following rulings. They said everybody that is a Frankist is to be excommunicated.
From the Jewish people.
From the Jewish people, bastards to the 10th generation, is what it said. And they prohibited people, because Frankists were into Kabbalah, they prohibited the study of Kabbalah until you were 30 or 40 years old and you had a belly full, as they said, full of Talmud. Only then could you study the Kabbalah.
Right.
And they said they're women or whores.
Frankenstein.
And they're hereby excommunicated from our people to the 10th generation.
This is what the Council of Foreign Lands labeled the Frankists, because they so deviated from Judaism and all that Judaism holds to be true and righteous. These people went off and made basically their own deformed religion, and so the Jews wanted nothing to do with them. They kicked them out.
That is correct.
Are there non-Jews that joined this Sabbatian cult?
No, non-Jews did not join the Sabbatian cult, but the non-Jews did join the Illuminati.
Today, royals, politicians, banksters, and businessmen form the inner circle of the Sabbatean Frankist elite. They live secret, two-faced lives, sometimes posing as religious Jews or Christians or Islamists. Modern Zionism is rooted in the unholy alliance of Frank, Weishaupt, and Rothschild. It has infiltrated world religions, taken over Freemasonry, engineered wars and revolutions, and turned nations and citizens into their debt slaves worldwide. Unfortunately, Muslims, Christians, and Jews do not recognize their common enemy because that enemy is invisible. It hides within their own religions. The enemy also hides within the activist community. It finances big budget documentaries and movements. The end game is to sell a divisive, anti-capitalist, atheistic message and deliver trusting followers right into the lap of a communist New World Order.
Black Lives Matter.
New World Order, Mr. Rothschild. Right? New World Order. Depopulation.
Oh, listen, who are you?
Genocide.
Who are you televising for?
We just want to let you know the New World Order has no legitimacy, and that we as a people are not afraid, and we are waking up to the robber barons and the big banksters who are looting this economy with the Federal Reserve.
Well,
what do you? I mean, the Rothschilds family did start the Federal. They divided Europe first, took over Europe. The Napoleon.
Thank you, Chandra.
Yeah. So
Sabbatai Zevi declared himself.
Tell Nick he finna get cooked when he goes sit with them rabbis. They gonna put him in a wok. Right? They gonna put him in a wok. Yeah, the British say, to be quite frank, let me drink some tea. Let's drink some tea, to be quite frank. Fire bun on Babylon. I'm talking about. So yeah, I gotta get to this album release for Kambata. So we're gonna end the show. I had so much fun with y'all tonight. Right? We went through a lot of information. We'll be back. We have a lecture on Thursday. This is a Zoom lecture. Everybody's familiar with Zoom now, so this is on Thursday. I need y'all to be there. If y'all like this information, this lecture is going to be about solutions. This is the conscious industry. I promise you, I've been in the house going in. Y'all like that logo, Stream Chasers? Which one you like, this one or that one? Let me know, the yellow or the red. Shout out to all of my Stream Chasers. What you going with, the yellow or the red one? Talk black to me. What's the logo? Which one speaks to you the most? But nonetheless, this is on Thursday, right? The link is in the description. The link is also in the bio of my Instagram page. And this is on Saturday. This is in Atlanta. I am the host. I will not be teaching. I will be hosting. It's a Saturday and Sunday event. Sunday is the lecture. Saturday is the workshop. The workshop is from 4 to 10 p.m. on Saturday. And on Sunday, from 1 to 6 p.m. is the lecture. It's at Unity and Coffee, 640 Evans Street, Atlanta, Georgia, 30310. And it is also being live streamed. So let me know. All right. Let me know if y'all gonna pull up. You could be in a live stream. You could be there live. All of the merch is gonna be there. You're gonna get gold water. You're gonna get clothes. All of these shirts that you just saw me. These shirts is gonna be there. Alistair Whoopi. You know what I'm saying? YSL. This is A.A. Rashid's merch. This is his merch line. The Moors. He'll have that in the building. You know, you name it. It'll be there. I don't know if 19 Keys will be out there with the crowns and whatnot, but if he is, you'll get to meet the brother and see him. You know, I know a few ladies that want to get that man a hug. You know what I'm saying? You'll get to do that. But yeah, we'll be in the building. KTL and the ATL. Shout out to my sister Mary, young Mary out of Miami. Love and light to you and your family. Let me show you these things real quick. So the red one, that's a S and a C interlocking. That's the first Stream Chasers logo that we're gonna be going with. And then we got this yellow one. How you like that? How you like the yellow? The gold, I mean, my bad. But then it's also one in black. Let me pull up the black. No. Shut up. Got the black Stream Chasers, you know. Or we got the yellow one, the gold, my bad, the gold Stream Chasers. So how y'all feel about that? They said the gold. I'm getting a lot of gold. I guess because we on that monatomic gold. So Professor Griff is on Black Magic. Cambada is premiering his album. I think Urban X. I'm going to clear up the airspace so the brothers can eat. I ate enough today. You know what I'm talking about? I ate food, so I'm gonna let my brothers eat on these networks. So the information is not over. Go and tap into more of the information. You dig what I'm saying? And love and light to y'all. I will see y'all on the other side. If you are in the class, I'll see you on Thursday. If you're not in the class, I'll see you next Monday. Go and check out Professor Griff on Black Magic 363. All right. I need to hear what my brother has to say. I'm sure he's gonna go in. And I hope he ain't apologizing to Nick Cannon. Love and light, y'all. All right. Peace.